Hi, I'm Old Norse Specialist Dr. Jackson Crawford, and I'm back with another one of my lessons in my Old Norse series. Today, I want to talk to you about the inflection of the core family words and then give you some other family vocabulary that isn't inflected the same way, but will expand your reading vocabulary. So 5 of the core nuclear family terms are so-called R stems, and you'll see why, because there's an R at the end of them that runs through every case. These, of course, are familiar from English. I barely need to translate them to you. They are fadir, brodir, systir, modir, and dotir. All right? They mean exactly what they sound like. Now, the two masculine ones, and the genders are the natural ones you'd assume, fadir and brodir are masculine, modir, systir, and dotir are feminine. The two masculine ones are going to work like this. We get fadir, accusative fodor, genitive fodor, dative fodor. So much like a weak noun, you have a distinct nominative, and then the 3 other cases are the same in the singular. Sometimes you'll see an archaic dative fetor, but not very often. But that's out there. Then plural is feather, feather, fedra, fedrum. So notice, kind of like mother men, we don't have an ending per se in the nominative accusative plural, but we do have I mutation. And then the I mutation, unlike mother men, is carried into the genitive and dative plural. So fedra, fedrum, with your typical genitive plural a, dative plural u. Now your feminines go like modir, modor, modor, modor. So again, much like a weak noun, the nominative is distinct while the accusative, genitive, dative are the same as each other. I'll also point out that that ending ur is there in Old Norse. This isn't like in the transition from Old Norse to modern Icelandic, where endings that are simply r get replaced by ur, that's svarabakti val u, in later Icelandic. These actually are already ur in Old Norse. And then the nominative accusative plural möder, möder. Again, like with the masculine father, we've got I mutation, but no ending per se. And then the I mutation is carried into the genitive and dative plural, so you get mödra, mödrum. All right? So the distinction between the masculine and feminine is that in the masculine you sometimes see that I mutated dative singular. You never see that in the feminines, but otherwise these R stems work basically the same. Brodir works like father, dotir and systir work like modir. Now, other family vocabulary that you need to know that does not fit into the R stems, but blessedly fits into other classes of nouns you already know. Sonar is a U stem. So we got sonar, son, sonar, suni, sunir, sonu, sona, sonum. Avi, grandfather, is a weak masculine of the very normal type. Ama is a weak feminine of a very normal type, that's grandmother. And then we have, according to Rikstula, great-grandfather is Oi, and great-grandmother is Edda, probably the origin of the title Edda for the books of Norse myth, stories your great-grandmother might tell you. Then we have interesting words for a generic relation. Frandi for the male generic relation. This would be cousin, uncle, something to that effect. And fraka for the generic female relation. So kinswoman, cousin, aunt, something of that nature. Now fraka is your typical weak feminine, but frandi is a little bit weird. In the singular, it looks like you'd expect for a weak masculine. Frandi, franda, franda, franda. But in the plural, it's going to look more like, say, a mother men or an R stem. We're going to get just an ending R, so frander, frander, in nominative and accusative plural. And then we're going to have genitive plural and accusative plural, which you'd expect, franda, frandum. So that's a short lesson giving you some of this vocabulary that will be important as you read more texts where so often in the sagas people are introduced by their relationship to somebody. Right? Now they don't actually, what's interesting is as much as they keep track of these relationships, they don't have complicated vocabulary for it, right? So they know exactly whose son of your fifth cousin is, but they don't necessarily have a word for fifth cousin, if you see what I mean. The word for that is still just Frandy, kinsman. All right, well, I'm going to wrap this up with some of the usual exercises and then give you some readings with kinship terms for you to get exposed to these in real life, as it were. Oh, by the way, I also mentioned Frandy is very affectionate, right? So a little bit like something like buddy, maybe in earlier American English, which I feel like is getting more sarcastic now. It has a real sense of affection and love for the person you're saying it to. One of the most affecting scenes with that word is probably in the Loxdale saga, Saga of the People of Loxdale, where when Kjartan is cut down by his foster brother and half-brother, Bolli, he addresses him as Frandy, as he says that, after all, it's Bolli that he'd rather be killed by than anybody else. All right, well, folks, from beautiful Colorado, let me wish you all the best.